running Airbnb from my phone in Gaziantep, Turkey.
I still can't believe that you didn't even think you were going to be in the NBA.
My number one focus was I'm going to get my books. I'm going to be a sports broadcaster. As I get older, I think about business outside of basketball. I'm booked every weekend. I need to get this. I need to screw this. We need to change the toilet seats. It's like 2 a.m.
You're out here changing toilet seats? We assume all the Knicks players live in Soho or West Village.
It's not Sex in the City, brother.
What would you say is the biggest lesson you've learned as an entrepreneur?
If I would have started buying duplexes my first check, I would probably have like 20 properties. The number one lesson of being an entrepreneur, man, if you have aspirations on something, don't wait too late to start. I don't care how good you are, the day is gonna come. Because you're gonna be a basketball player for so long before it stops and you're at home. This basketball is getting put down, and now my life journeys and endeavors begins.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Another episode of the Athletes and Assets podcast. I'm your host, Noah Lack. You know what we do on here. We bring on your favorite athletes to chat about entrepreneurship. And today, man, I'm really excited because I got the H-Town legend, professional basketball player. You may have seen him get buckets in the Garden for years. Also played for the Cleveland Cavaliers. Is now in China, getting to it for sure. My guy, Damyean Dotson, is also a podcast co-host, Your Perspectives podcast, which we'll chat about, and is also the founder of Wholeteam Properties LLC. My guy's doing it all right now. Why have half team when you got the whole team? Hey, Dot, appreciate you joining us, man.
What's up, bro? I appreciate it, man. It's all well, man. I love the intro, I appreciate it, man. Long time coming, bro. It's all a grind, Life is life. You got to keep going, man. You got to keep pushing.
Hey, can I ask you something? It's like 11:38 p.m. over there in China. You good? Are you ready?
11:37, bro. This is, I'm locked in, bro. I'm still on Houston time, really. So I'm really locked in. It's really 10:37 in my brain, so I'm good.
Okay, we're good. Okay, good to know. Let's skip the small talk, Dot. I don't want to get you in trouble in the first 30 seconds of the podcast, but you're in China right now playing for the Nanjing Monkey Kings. That name is crazy.
Look, funny story, bro. Funny story. I was in when I played in Turkey. Me and my teammates always joked about playing in China, and I said, bro, I would never play for the Monkey Kings because it was a guy like, hey, this guy QJ Peterson is playing for the Monkey Kings, and he's going crazy, right? They was posting all his clips, everything, and I was like, bro, there's no way I'm playing for the Monkey Kings. I don't care how much money they offer me. That name is crazy.
Crazy.
Look, full circle to life. That's why I say life is life. It's full circle, brother.
Hey, look, I just had to point that out, man.
It's crazy. It's insane. I don't know exactly what that means. I should ask somebody what exactly does that mean. But I'm gonna kind of keep my questions to myself because I don't want to get a weird answer and I'll be like, whoa, that's crazy.
Yeah, you don't want it to be awkward because if you ask them that question and then they say no English, you just gotta kind of brush it off.
It's crazy.
Imagine a G League team, Houston Monkey Kings, bro. Hell no.
It won't work. It
would
be
work
too much
here.
Controversial. Too much.
Yeah. No, it would be. It would be. But not to skip over, man, of what you've done, man, from Houston to Oregon to U of H and spending some time. Hey, I just got back from New York, Dot. I spent about 5 weeks living in New York. And honestly, like best city in the world for me. My experience was incredible. Yeah. As a Knick, like playing in the Garden, but also like practicing in Westchester because the practice facility was away from the city. Like, how is that dynamic, like living as a New Yorker? Because it's like not easy.
Man, I would say, like you said, the best city in the world. We're gonna go with first Houston, and then I'll go second New York. New York is like my second home, man. I haven't played there in 4 years, but I still get love from there. I still, I still know the ins and outs of New York. You can drop me off in New York right now. I know how to get around. So I would definitely say, man, it was a lot of traveling. I did a lot of driving, a lot of train rides, a lot of, back and forth from Westchester to the games. You had to leave a little bit early because the traffic could be bad depending on what day you play.
Yeah.
What time. So, I kind of learned the schedule, kind of made it kind of easy for me. Coming from Westchester to the Garden was maybe like a 45-minute drive if you catch it at the right time. So it wasn't bad because you get time to think about the game, you get time to think about, just listen and relax. So, but yeah, man, it was fun, bro. I had an awesome time when I was in New York. All the coaches that I've played for, all the teammates that I've had, all the memories that I have just from playing in New York, man, is, unbelievable. And it was a first time everything like experience, first time for everything. So
Where did you live in the city? Like what part of the city were you?
no, I didn't live in the city. I lived in Westchester and I lived in Yonkers.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I
So
lived
you were
in Yonkers. I was on the outskirts, but I was close to the practice facility.
I mean, it makes sense.
Yeah, I was young, first year, second year, third year. I need to be close to the practice facility anyway.
Yeah. That's so fascinating because I think like we assume like all the Knicks players live in like, the Soho or West Village or
Like Sex in the City, huh?
but it's
it's not Sex in the City, brother. I live in Westchester. I was in Yonkers, where there's no traffic. Grocery store is no traffic.
Yeah.
Going to get food is no traffic, no fans. There's nobody stopping you in Yonkers. Nobody stopping you in Westchester. You going about your business, walking through the grocery store, driving. No distractions. So it was cool, bro. If I was to do it all over again, I would still live in Yonkers, and then
No
I would
way.
just
There's no
I
way.
would just no, yeah, because it's cheaper, of course,
Sure.
and it's easy. Like I said, it's easy getting back and forth at the right times, but I would definitely spend a lot of more time in the city, making relationships, and doing these things that people was hitting me up to do. As I get older, I think about like business outside of basketball. Like we talk. Maybe some what you call it, the fashion world, maybe some promotions like signing autographs and stuff like this. But I was so locked in on just trying to be the best player that I can be, I was just knocking out all those distractions. And at the end of the day, man, when I talk to guys now and I do my own thing and ask guys questions and I ask them what they think they should have did when they look back, it's more of like, man, I wish I was more invested in this. I wish I paid more attention in this and not just focus on basketball, because you can only be a basketball player for so long, and you can only practice for so long, before it stops and you're at home. So it's a lot of things that I don't regret. It's a lot of things that I look back on and I'm like, damn, I probably should have did that. But I don't regret it because, you can't live life in regrets, and then you start thinking negative. So
Man,
yeah.
can you give me because I love going to different restaurants in NYC. I mean, the food there is incredible. Is there a restaurant there that you could shout out you remember going to being like, yes, like this, I'm a Nick, I'm at this restaurant, I'm eating good, I'm living good.
I give you one, bro. I give you two, actually. I give you the Tao restaurant.
Okay.
Staple. And then my favorite was in Harlem. It was called, it was a seafood place, man. Oh, what's the seafood place called? It was like boiled seafood. This is my favorite place, man. Wow, I'm getting a blank right now.
All good.
My
I didn't make my way to Harlem when I was there.
My favorite seafood place in Harlem. I can't think of the name. It's a blue logo. Can't think of the name right now. But also they had a bunch of soul food restaurants in Harlem. So I was all the way in Harlem, bro. I wasn't even in the city. I was in Harlem a lot. That's where the food is. It's good food in Manhattan too, but I spent a lot of time in Harlem.
Got it. Yeah, I did not spend much time in Harlem. Next time you're there, I got two good ones for you. If you're ever in New York again. One, the Lobster Club, which is a sister of the Carbone Restaurant Group in Midtown. The best Japanese fusion seafood restaurant ever, man. The sushi, the chicken, incredible.
Never heard of it.
And then if you get a chance, this one's a little more private, but shout out my guys at Vayner Sports, the Fly Fish Club, East Village, private membership. It's Gary V's spot.
Private membership.
Okay. So
That's
you got to be on the guest list, my brother. But I know you know people too. So I have.
Hey, look, I know you, so look, I'm gonna call you. That's all good. I'll call you and get the membership, and
yeah.
So New York is love, bro. It's a second home for me. I love it. I show love to everybody, my teammates, the fans. I always make sure I kept in touch. You know what I mean? Made sure I was a good person. Make sure I, you know what I mean, built relationships around the garden. I'm sure I can walk in the garden now with the same people that work there. If they're still there, I'm sure I can walk right in, man. Because
Yeah.
you know, I was trying to be a great guy in that atmosphere. You know what I mean? Just being a young guy and coming into the pros, man, and not really knowing much, but just knowing this basketball is important, but also relationships and the way you treat people, man, goes a long way.
100%. When I talk to NBA guys, there's always a vet or two that has such an impact on how they view not only their basketball career, but stuff off of it. When I think about you, I think about maybe, a Taj Gibson, a Jared Jack, or a Kevin Love. Like, are these guys had any real impact on how you think about structuring your life outside of basketball now?
Yeah, man. So, like I said, like you said, you threw a name out there that kind of got me, you know what I mean, that really did a lot for me in my first year, my rookie year.
Okay.
So I would go with Jared Jack.
Yeah.
Of course. Courtney Lee. C. Lee. That's one of my, you know what I mean, I kind of wanted to model my game after his a little bit, just the way that he carried himself, the way that he talked shit, you know what I mean, the way that he was always confident in what he was doing. You know, whether he was missing or making or, you know what I mean, whatever it was, he was always confident. So
yeah.
I definitely would say C. Lee. I'll give you another name, man, Lance Thomas.
Yeah.
Lance Thomas great
For
guy,
sure.
bro. Just perfect role model for, you know what I mean, maybe not you want to play exactly like Lance, but his approach with the game, the way that he handled himself, the way he carried himself like a pro, man, the way he was always ready to go whenever the time was. If you want to go into a fight with anybody and come out victorious, man, Lance Thomas was the guy. You know what I mean? I could throw out a lot of names. Taj Gibson, like you said, Joakim Noah. You know what I mean? These are all guys that I played with my rookie year. Mike Beasley, more than you think. You know what I mean? He kind of gave us that aspect of, like, just be a dog. You know what I mean? It don't matter what situation you in, just be a dog and have a dog mentality. So, yeah, man, my rookie year I had a lot of guys, the names that I throw out, and you'd be like, damn, you played with this guy? Ramon Sessions. You know, it was just like a bunch of older guys. Yeah, so.
Mike Beasley, my favorite Mike Beasley clip. It's me.
It's me. The only one.
Man, look, he's but I would say Mike Beasley is probably one of the nicest guys to do it effortless that I ever seen play basketball. Just effortless. Just effortless. Like, I remember a cool story for you, bro. Cool story for the pod. This is like, so if you think about it, my rookie year, Phil Jackson drafted me. Phil Jackson gets fired. Carmelo Anthony goes to OKC Thunder, right?
Yep.
So think about this. Porzingis get hurt. OKC is coming home, and they're having, like, Carmelo Anthony welcome back, like he's coming back to the Garden. This guy, Mike Beasley, went crazy. Like, stole a show. It was insane, bro. Like, if you can find those clips from when Mike Beasley went against Melo, when we played them, like, on Melo's return, Mike Beasley went insane.
Did he take it personal? He was like, I'm not going to let
I don't think he took it personal. Like I said, he's just a dog. Like, it was too easy for him. That year was, like, super easy. Like, when Porzingis got hurt, Mike Beasley was going insane. He had some bad games. He rolled his ankle a couple times where he got hurt, but he was, like, unstoppable.
Yeah.
He was, like, unstoppable.
No,
I think I seen him talk about that, like, not too long ago on the podcast. Like, Porzingis went down, Beasley stepped in. That game right there, though, I remember I think he had, like, 25, but he didn't miss. Like, he didn't miss. Yeah,
no, efficient. Beasley is a bucket. Well, these guys, like, is there anyone in particular that you admired, you know, whether it's Lance, Courtney Lee, like anything they did in business at the time where you were like, oh, okay, like that's something I'm going to keep note of?
Yeah, so Lance Thomas, he had his own fishing company. Like,
fishing company?
He was doing like a fishing brand. Like, he was doing fishing, he was selling, like, product, he was doing, like,
rods?
hats. Now, I don't know if he was selling fishing rods, but he was selling, like, fishing apparel. But he was also a fisherman, you know what I mean? So he loves to fish. So at this time, he was, like, selling it, wearing his shirts, you know what I mean? He was, like promoting his stuff while he was on the Knicks. And I'm like, man, that's cool, bro. And he was like promoting it. People were showing love. People was wearing his stuff. Like, man, that's pretty dope. And then on the other end of Jared Jack, he just, I don't know, Jared, I feel like Jared does so much. We never sat down to have a talk, but he knows everybody.
Okay.
You know, like he knows LA, Cleveland, Chicago. It don't matter where you at. Jared is the person you call to put everything in place. If you know J Jack, you good anywhere you go. So I'm sure he has his hands in any type of businesses, restaurants, all type of things. So, yeah, bro, I can't tell you exactly what J Jack does, but I will say this. Me and Jared has the same financial guy. We have the same financial guy.
Okay. Same financial advisor?
Same financial advisor. So that's goes back to relationships.
You think if Lance Thomas was on the Rockets, his fishing brand would just pop off because he could partner with Bash Pro Shops or some, people in the South love fishing.
See, now it's a little different. I'm sure he gravitated to some brands and fishing people that wanted to, but a lot of times like now Instagram is a lot more. You can monetize a little bit more on Instagram, YouTube, and stuff like that now. But this was like 2017, 2018. Yeah. And I'm sure he had a lot of people hitting him up about it and stuff like that, man. But I definitely looked at that as like, yeah, Lance, bro, you playing? Yeah, of course you're going to play your minutes, but also you got some stuff going on off the court. And, you know what I mean? A lot of times they try to tell you like, or they try to make a perception if you're doing stuff outside of basketball, you're distracted, So, and that's not really the case, man. You can also do other things and also focus on the game at the same time. So, you know what I mean? If I learned anything from just experiences and past experiences, I would say that, man, you could be a lot much more than just a hooper. Yeah. Even if you're not broadcasting it, you don't have to tell everybody what you're doing, but at the end of the day, man, you can be a lot much more than just a hooper. You can do business on the side.
I still can't believe that you didn't even think you were going to be in the NBA. You said you were going to be a sports broadcaster after college. That's crazy to me.
Yeah. So, yeah, man, funny story. I know we talked about it a little bit, but yeah, bro. So when I left Yates High School, man, I had a scholarship to the University of Oregon, full ride. And mom always preaches, family member always preaches, hey man, get a full ride so your parents don't have to pay for school, right? That's the number one priority. That's the number one. Of course we're thinking about, I'm gonna go to the next level to the NBA, be a pro. But to start off is high school to college. So you want to get a full ride. And that's what I did. I went to the University of Oregon, but my number one focus was, man, I'm gonna get my books. I'm gonna be a sports broadcaster. And that was it, man. And then my freshman year, I was the second leading scorer.
You stayed in the gym, man. I grew up watching you religiously.
Yeah, but
live in that gym.
And
so
you
my
didn't
brain,
think you were
gonna be an NBA player.
So my brain is thinking like, if I do something, I'm gonna give it my all. And then the outcome is the outcome, So that's how I function. In that moment, I'm a freshman. You see guys, you see freshmen. Okay, they have good years. Some guys go one and done. But coming out, you got to think, I was a 3-star guy. I wasn't a 4-star, 5-star. People were already talking about, he's going to the league in 1 year. So me, I'm like, 4 years, I'm going to get my education. I'm going to also play. I'm going to work on my game. But my freshman year, I ended up being the second leading scorer on the Sweet 16 team. So it's kind of like, after that, I'm like, all right, well, if
they should be talking about me. I shouldn't be talking about them.
Yeah, if this is what we're doing, if this is the trajectory of my career, then I see guys like Kyle Anderson. I see guys Shabazz Muhammad, Alan Crabb, these guys that I played against, and they're going to the NBA.
But you said off camera, you were busting their ass. That's what
So what I'm saying is UCLA, I played well. We beat UCLA in the conference tournament in Vegas at the MGM. So these are the guys that went to the league, and I'm like, man, bro, I played against these guys. Me and Dominic Artis, he was also my teammate, starting point guard. I was a starting 2 guard on the Sweet 16 team. So. We're at Oregon the second year. Now we're like, man, we can't really go nowhere. you got to go to the gym. We can't step out. We can't go to Walmart. We can't go nowhere. Fans running up to us. People love Oregon. You know what I mean? The supporters and everybody in Oregon is just like crazy. So now your mind is like, all right, like sports broadcasting, okay, cool. Like going to school, yes, we're going to do this. We're going to get our grades. We're going to go to tutoring sessions. But I need to be in the gym. I need to be focusing on what's next. You know, so that's how my life kind of
no doubt.
changed in that fact. I'm like, yo, I can't even go to Walmart. I can't go to the corner store. I can't just walk on campus freely without people trying to take pictures or asking questions or being excited. So that's kind of when the roles reversed, and I was like, man, look, basketball is probably it's probably going to be, this is what it is. Like, this is my life now.
No, for sure. And I like how you mentioned earlier about having so much free time as a hooper to develop the other stuff. And, obviously you have to keep the main thing. You could train 3 times a day, treatment, nutrition, study film, and still you have so much time as a hooper. And as an NBA player, what I've learned, talking to a lot of NBA players, is when you get to the league, you accidentally rub elbows with just everything across the gamut, from fashion to real estate to tech, and it's kind of up to you what you do or do not engage with. And you've engaged with 2 things, one of which we'll cover first is the real estate, man. You started out with Airbnbs, and
Airbnb dot. That was my name on Instagram. Airbnb dot. I had an Instagram page. It was Airbnb.
Airbnb dot.
Yep.
That's great. And you mentioned that, like, I think it's a great way to get into real estate. Mm-hmm. And you mentioned that because of the seasonality of it, you're like, man, some seasons I am getting rentals. Other season when I'm overseas, I'm not. But what did you learn from that experience? And like, was the Airbnb experience for you kind of like, oh yeah, I could actually do something really big in the real estate space?
Yeah. So what I took from that, because I was running Airbnb from my phone in Gaziantep, Turkey. I was running it from my phone. Like, I got bookings. Yeah, I'm booked. I'm booked every week. I had one bedroom and I had 1 2-bedroom. I'm booked every weekend.
In Houston?
In Houston.
Okay.
I'm booked every weekend. I'm like, yo, like, hey, I gotta call this cleaner. Hey, I gotta call my brother who was managing my properties at the time. Hey, bro, I need you to do this. I need you to do that. So this was like 2 a.m. Like I said, this is like 2 a.m. I'm like, hey, man, these people just checked out, but we just got another booking. So I kind of enjoyed putting out fires and like being in charge and calling the shots. But also I enjoyed, I was in there personally putting these things together, putting the carpets down, putting the chairs down. I did it personally. So I enjoy making a suitable living situation for people, and giving back. And, if I'm able to, maybe you need to go somewhere for a weekend. My spot is where you need to go, and I want to make it feel like home. Because I spent a lot of time, like my rookie year, I didn't have a home yet, and I was doing Airbnb, hotels. But I always wanted to go somewhere where it felt like home. You know what I mean? So when I did this stuff, I was like, man, I'm gonna set it up properly. I want to do it the right way. And now I'm in a space where I got properties, I got duplexes, and I want it to be suitable for families. You have children. These guys or the people that I have in my places are guys that driving trucks, guys that's working 12-hour shifts, but their families are able to, their wife and kids are able to be in a spot that's suitable, that's clean, that's in a safe area. So these are the things that I think of, and when I think about either single parents or guys that are trying to provide for their families, I'm trying to give them a space to be able to, not have expensive rent, but also, being able to tame the living situation and take care of their family, man. So that's all I'm about. I'm about the people. I've always been that way, if I could give back. And, even though it's, I'm making a profit off of it, but I still feel like I'm giving a space that somebody needs. You need to live somewhere. Everybody needs to live somewhere. And just like everybody needs water, you have to have supply and demand. So I feel like I have that, and I'm able to give that, but in a respectable, clean way,
Absolutely. Would you say that the Airbnb, starting on that, was that your introduction to entrepreneurship? Was that your first taste?
Yeah, man. I would say the Airbnbs, and I was like, yeah, this is because I'm actually in here getting my hands dirty. I'm putting
Yeah.
together bar stools. I'm doing this stuff. So this is like I'm coming out of my pocket and I'm taking this serious, you know. And I'm actually in here getting my hands dirty. So I'm learning the game. I'm learning how this looks. I'm learning how to deal with people when they say, hey, this stuff is broken. I'm like, no way, because I did it myself. You know,
Check it
I
again.
did it myself. Let's check the box. I checked every box before you came in here. So I started that in the summer, and I was at home. So I was actually bringing the keys to people, dropping the keys off. Think about 6'5" guy dropping your keys off like, hey, welcome to my Airbnb. You have no clue who I am. Former NBA player, you know, and they just like, oh man, thank you, such a nice guy, you know.
What's your Airbnb? What was your profile pic?
It was just the Wholeteam Properties logo.
Okay, so you have
The
this
logo that I have. Yeah,
They
the
have
logo
no
that I have.
idea.
Yeah.
They have no
No
idea.
idea. And then I
And
get to the funniest thing, man. It happens every time. I get to let people in. Like, oh, what do you do? Like, oh man. Then I gotta tell them like, oh man, I play basketball. And now these people feel safe and they trust everything. They don't ask no questions. They don't think it's a scam, you know. Then it's like, oh, well, we good. Man, I would love to come back here when I come back. You know what I mean? I had Jared
wow,
Vanderbilt.
so that's kind
Jared
of the
Vanderbilt, yeah.
icebreaker.
Yeah, Jared Vanderbilt stayed in my place three times in Houston. He'd come home like, hey, Dot, bro, I need your Airbnb, you know? So that's cool to have been able to provide a space. Like I said, like you think Jared Vanderbilt, he don't need a place to stay, but you'd be surprised, man. He'd be like, I'm just only here for the weekend. Let me come stay at your spot. So, yeah, man.
That's awesome. And I mean, sounds like you learned so much getting your hands dirty. You've done all parts of the business, selling it, putting the stuff, giving the keys, handling it online.
Hand to hand, everything, bro.
Yeah. Wholeteam Properties LLC, what you're doing now, right? Investing in these duplexes out of the Houston area. When did you start? When did you make an LLC officially, I guess?
So the same time I did the Airbnb.
Okay.
So when I had the Airbnbs, that was my whole goal. I was like, man, I want to, eventually have my own, whole setup of property, leasing management, have a whole real estate agency. So as of right now, I have one guy that works for me that's a leasing agent. He has his own company, but I hired him to handle my duplexes. But as of right now, I'm a solo, man. Like you said, an entrepreneur. Like I said, I'm putting out all the fires. They called me. I'm in China. I'm in China right now. It's 12? It's 12 p.m. here. And, fires don't start till about noon, 1 o'clock. So so once that happens and something happens, man, he send me a text or he give me a call. I got to pick up. I can't not pick up because at the end of the day, the roads stop at my say-so. So the roads
Life an
stop
entrepreneur, man. 2 a.m.
Basketball. You control your body. You're an entrepreneur of your body. You have to take care of yourself. You have to make sure you're ready. You got to make sure you're eating right. You got to make sure you're healthy. That's one. I'm an entrepreneur of myself. This is my business. I am my business. Number two, managing properties, managing families. Like I said, keeping everybody happy. That's you have to be. You have to be a good person with other people. You have to be a people's person. You can't be a selfish, self-centered guy. It won't work. Entrepreneurship, you have to understand. You have to listen to the people. You have to listen to what people are saying. So
you have to listen to your customers. Your customers.
These are your customers, and these are how you keep people. The more that you can keep somebody happy, the more money you can make.
Yeah.
The more you can keep somebody coming back and keep them happy, then that's the more you can make more money that way. So, yeah, man. It's tough. It's not easy. I will say being an entrepreneur is not easy. It's not easy to make. It take money to make money. Plumbing, pest control. Somebody may be late on the rent. It's always something. I would tell you that. But it's fun and it's a learning experience, like I said. And I wouldn't trade it for nothing. I wouldn't do it no other way because I learned the process hand to hand, step by step, and it only gets better.
100%. I think a lot of people in my world, we talk about the role of a founder or a CEO running a business, and you're kind of head of customer service, which
I am
sounds
the
like
customer service, brother.
you are the customer. You are the customer
Yeah,
service,
yeah.
right?
But I do
And
have my guy that could pick up the calls and kind of put out some fires too. But at the end of the day, the last say so is, how we gonna handle this? What you want to do?
yeah,
And then
no,
I have to give that answer. You know what I mean? How are we gonna pay for this? How are we gonna fix this? So I have to kind of chime in and be like, hey, look, bro, I got it handled. Just send me the invoice. We take care of it.
talk to me about the first investment, talk to me about the first property you invested in. What was that feeling like?
So I actually did it overseas.
Wow.
So just think about that. So I, you know how it goes. It's a lot of paperwork, bro. It's unbelievable the amount of paperwork that you have to do when you're trying to get a property, when you're trying to put your, put your pay stubs in, get your credit. The interest rates fluctuate. It's just a lot of paperwork and a lot of things that go into getting a loan and, just getting to the final part to where it's like, oh, look, I'm going to wire this money from my account to you guys, and now this property is mine. It's so much paperwork in between. It took about a month or two before everything was like, before everything was like.
Did you want to quit at any point of that month? Like, fuck this paperwork. It's too much.
So you got to think, I'm in China. So
Yeah.
if I'm asleep or if I have a game, you send me an email, you like, I need you to respond immediately or ASAP. We need this answer now. I'm at the computer working. I don't see it until the next day. So now I respond and it's 7 p.m. where you're at. You're not at your computer anymore. So now this moves to the next day in the next week. So it was kind of it was a hassle.
So it was a longer process than
longer
usual.
process because I was overseas, and you got to think this was my first one. So I'm kind of like not, not excited because I'm like I don't know what I'm getting myself into. I kind of know, but I don't.
You're
now
like,
that
this is a freaking hassle. It's taking me a month.
Like, do I want to do this? Like, some days I'm not gonna lie, I was ignoring the people. Like, man, this is too much. Like, it's too much. Like, y'all asking me for something new every day, so it's too much. But like I said, it's a learning experience though, because I learned. So now I'm saying like everything that you need me to do, whatever you need, paperwork you need, I already have it. So I turn it in right there. Let's get it done now. Any question that you have, I'm already on top of it. I know I need to respond expeditiously, and let's get it done so it won't take 2 months again. And then interest rates change, stuff closes. You got to close on the deal at a certain time. That stuff can change. Paperwork can change. 48 hours. If you don't respond in 48 hours, 72 hours, a lot of the rules and paperwork and stuff changes. So you have to be on that stuff like quick. And I learned that lesson after my first time. And I'm like, everything that you do, you need to be kind of quick on it because somebody else can come around and try to get the same property that you're getting. Stuff changes. People, the seller, like to go up. The prices fluctuate. So you have to be on it. Yeah, and I mean, it's a lot of stuff that I learned, and I'm still learning, but I know that took a long time. That was my first purchase, and I didn't make that purchase until I got back home. So you got to think, I was in China for 7 months, 6 months. Then I had to wait to make the purchase till I got back. So, yeah. I was lucky.
But it must have felt really good when you finally got it taken care of, and that first person running it out.
Man, so getting the keys, doing a walkthrough, figuring out, hey, I need to get this in order. I need to put this in order. Think about it. Mind you, I'm already hand to hand. I already did this stuff. So I'm already in there like, all right, I need to do this, that, and the third.
Yeah.
I need to paint the baseboards. We need to change the toilet seats. I need to get this. I need to screw this. I need to, I need to get the
You're out
fridge.
here changing toilet seats?
That's easy, bro. That's easy.
Man.
These are stuff you don't have to pay people for,
Bro,
Like,
that's a boss mentality right there.
Yeah, I don't have to pay you to change a toilet seat. I can do it myself.
Yes.
So these are the things. I can paint the baseboards myself. Like, I don't need you to do this. So these are the things that, like I said, hand to hand. This is my first property. I'm in there like, this is my baby. I got to take care of this. So, yeah, man, it was a process, and it was definitely one of those experiences and moments for me. I was like, man, the feeling of having your own stuff, like I want to keep doing this and let's multiply it, So, like if anybody out there, if you have quads available, I'm looking for a quad right now as we speak.
Okay. Talk
a
about
quad.
talk about what you look for in a property, and but also like first off, share a little bit of what you have right now and the stuff that you have now on the market. I know you've have a couple now in the Houston area.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
talk about what else you looking to get into, like what other things properties you're looking to
Yeah.
buy.
So I have two duplexes out in North Houston of Texas, Houston, Texas, North Houston. I recently got rid of my apartments that I started off with that I was telling you about on Airbnb.
Yep.
Because I kind of wanted to switch gears into focusing on straight real estate and not kind of the Airbnb market.
Love it.
So I kind of got rid of those, but I do have those in the North Houston side of town in Houston. And now I'm looking for the quads, you know what I mean, kind of going into the commercial real estate area. I know the interest rates kind of been fluctuating right now during the election, so it's kind of been kind of slow. You know what I mean? It's a seller's market right now, not a buyer's market. So I'm kind of being patient with that, trying to wait till like after November, wait till after the election, see what the interest rate do. But I am looking for, like I said, quadplexes, and stuff like this, man, to generate more funds and give more spaces for people to live. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Kind of start my own community.
And so you're looking at, is that what you like to buy, little quad properties? Like what's kind of the price range? Like what's your sweet spot?
So if you think about it, so if I get 1, 2, 3, 4, I can, you know what I mean? You can pay for all 4 of those with maybe 2. So think about it like that. If I'm paying $6,000 or $7,000 per month on this mortgage just for this whole area of 4 duplexes, based on the loan and however much you put on it, the 3.5 loan or 20%, 10%, however much you want to put down. Now that determines your mortgage. So if my mortgage is $6,500 or $7,000 a month, and I have 3-4 properties, and I can get 2 properties to pay $2,500 a month, was that $5,000? So now, when we're talking about the 3rd and 4th property, now I'm probably taking home at least $2,000, which is not a lot. But if you can do that and multiply it for 10 properties, now you're looking at $20,000 a month, just off of, you know what I mean, recurring revenue. So that's kind of how my mindset is. It's kind of what I look at it in. And then you want to multiply that 20,000 by 5. Now I can make 100,000 per month. You know what I mean? So these are the things that I think about and I sleep on and I reminisce about and try to see my life it. Because if I'm done hooping and I can do that, then I can just be on vacation in Spain like you, bro.
Yeah, well,
that's what I would want to do, you know?
Yeah. Well, I ain't in Spain yet. We'll get there at some point. But
Exactly.
I love what you said in previous conversations about having capital to make the capital. I think what a lot of people don't realize is you need money to make money, and especially in the real estate investing space. And I understand a lot of people who don't have it have to start from the bottom. But I see that happen in different ways. I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna give you a glimpse of like what happens in my world here in Silicon Valley.
Yeah.
When we talk about starting
Silicon Valley.
Yeah, Silicon Valley, baby, 0 to 1. Here's some common shit that happens. Okay, there are thousands of employees that work for Google or Facebook, right? So let's take Google for example. Google. You have all these people that work for them. They all making healthy 6-figure salaries, and they work 30 hours a week. They're not doing that much. Maybe they're writing 1 line of code or they're on the ads team. And the dirty secret is that all these employees are funding their side projects because they're entrepreneurial and they're like building stuff on the side, but they're using the salary they make at Google to like fund their business. And for you, obviously playing in the NBA has helped fund your real estate endeavors. But that's some game that a lot of people don't realize is like getting in a big company and leveraging that to start like the real thing you want to work on. But that's kind of a glimpse of what happens in my world.
Yeah, so it's like you said, man, you got to keep the main thing. So like I said, when I said entrepreneurship, it's one, me being my own business. I have to take care of my body so I can, fund my own business. I can take care of myself. I can take care of my family. I can handle things that I need to handle just by being healthy, being able to play the game of basketball that that I love and that has funded me to be a successful, a successful black man in this world and being able to take care of things that I need to by playing basketball. So we can't ignore that. I will never ignore that because that's the number one business. Whenever that stops, hopefully, hopefully whenever that stops, I don't have to worry about it and look back and have any regrets. But like I said, from now, what I think about now, the number one business is playing sports, playing basketball, making a good amount of profit, and taking those profits, those dollars, and building something else to where I can, lean on that and have that put to the side and already started when I stopped playing. Because, like I said before, I'm 30 years old right now. Say if I play for 10 more years, God willing, 5 more years.
Yeah.
Then after that, I'm 35, 40 years old. For the next 20 to 30 years, man, who knows? I can have 100 properties and I would never have to look at a basketball again, So these are the things I think about on top of the podcast, going back to sports broadcasting and full circle in that moment. So that's when I say, when I put the ball down, I want to say that, man, I gave it all I had. I made the most money that I could possibly make. I did something with this money. I didn't just spend it. I actually did something with it. And I can say, that's the end of it. I love basketball because that day is going to come. I don't care who you are. I don't care how good you are. The day is going to come to where you said this basketball is getting put down and now my life and other journeys and endeavors begins, even if you haven't been doing those things already.
No doubt. And once again, love what you said earlier about, like, I don't think people people don't understand. Like, you need some type of money to make some real money.
That's why I'm in China right now, bro.
Yeah. No,
because I do love basketball also, yeah. So let's not get that twisted. But everybody knows. You play basketball, you make money. This is a professional career. China has pretty good money outside of the NBA and outside of EuroLeague. The CBAs generates a lot of money. So, you come over here, you take a couple of those checks, put it into properties, put it into businesses, put it into the podcast, more editing, make it more smoother. Just take that money and, let's put it over here. Let's work on some stuff over here while I'm out here playing and collecting the check. Let's make it happen back at home, man.
So on here, like, it almost feels like when two founders talk to each other, we kind of enter like entrepreneurial therapy. And one thing I like to call it, Dot, is like a privileged stress. Like, it's a privileged stress. And you talked about it earlier, but I like to go back to it about putting out fires. Can you chat with me about can you give me a story or something about putting out a fire with one of your properties while being overseas?
Man, so I could say maybe 2 days ago. 2 days ago. Like I tell you, we practice late. We want to practice around the time the games are going to be. So we practice at 7:30 p.m. Was that 6:30 a.m. in Houston? So let's say 6:30 a.m. in Houston. I'm at practice at 7:30 p.m. I don't finish practice till 9:30. Get home 10:30, eat about 10:30, 11. Now I'm in bed. Maybe I'm playing a game. Maybe I'm chilling on my phone on Instagram, something, but I'm relaxing. So time goes. Now it's like 1 a.m., 2 a.m. Like I said, this is when people just start. This is when fires start. 1 p.m., 2 p.m.
That's the fire start an hour for
the fire
Dot.
start. The
Wholeteam Properties LLC.
If my phone's not ringing at 1 a.m., then okay, I'm not.
Something's wrong.
No. Everything is good.
Everything's good. Okay.
So this particular day, I think it was like a pest problem, something minor, super minor, but the tenant was like freaking out. So she sent them a video and she was like freaking out, like and he calls me. He like, oh bro, like I need you to handle this ASAP. I'm like, man, like this is simple, Yeah. This is simple. Like this is not like a drastic situation to where you got to call me or text me. Like, but at the end of the day, these are fires that you have to put out. And my phone is ringing at 2 a.m. about something that could easily be said. Like, hey, look, we're gonna handle it. Just give us a day or two. It's gonna be okay. Nothing's gonna jump on you. You're not gonna die. Basically, like it's okay. These are normal things that happen in people's house. Like it's not the end of the world. But like I said, it could either be super major or it could be minor. But this was literally 2 days ago. My phone's ringing at 2 a.m. and now I'm on the phone for another hour, and I'm up at 3 a.m. Now I can't sleep. So. But I enjoy it, man. Like I said, it's fun. It's the life that I chose. It's the decisions that I've chose. So
yeah, it's
it only gets better. Stress. It's a privilege stress. Yeah, it's not nothing that I'm losing sleep over. You know what I mean? It's just something to give me extra to talk about. Like it's fun.
Yeah, no, for sure. And delegation, right? Like what should you handle versus what do you want to delegate? I know that's always something I go back and forth thinking about.
Delegate. It's a great word.
I heard you and Winston talk about delegation. He does. Him and his vending machine business.
That's his. He's the human thesaurus. He says human dictionary. He likes to say. But yeah, so delegating. Yeah, I learned that from him actually. I mean, I knew about it, but I didn't know the actual word that people in the business world were using.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Delegation. So I'm not really delegating anything because it's like, if they're not calling me, they're calling my leasing agent, and the leasing agent is like one of my close friends. So he can text me and call me at any time. So it's not really a problem. But, you know what I mean, it's fairly new. We just started working together, so he kind of figuring out like what I can tolerate and what can he answer without having to call me. So that's what we're working on right now, that kind of space of like, can I be an asshole right now, or should I just kind of be soft? So he's calling me to see like how I'm going to respond, and that's how he responds to the situations. Because if I let him, he's just going to be like, all right, well, we'll figure it out. Like you're going to live. Like it's not the end of the world. But then like I said, you got to be a people person too, and you got to kind of be like, all right, let me kind of put out this fire, and we'll handle it later. So
no, for sure. Delegation is always something I constantly think about, and for those listening, like, if you're wondering why Dot is so smooth and very professional on camera, it's because I'm actually talking to a fellow podcaster himself. Dot is also the co-host of Your Perspectives podcast. When we've referred to him a couple times now, his buddy, current professional basketball player, also an entrepreneur, Winston Shepard, out of the H.
My God, my brother. He's another Houston legend.
Yeah. You guys have it going on, man. Chat about your perspectives, man. If I were to go on your podcast, man, what am I getting?
So you're getting a little bit of business, life, and sports. You know what I mean? Your life, your perspective. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, all you have is your perspective. So if you was to sit here and say, hey, my podcast is better than yours, then I would say, hey, bro, that's your perspective.
That's your perspective.
And you just leave it at that. Or you can say that Scottie Pippen was better than Dennis Rodman, or Dennis Rodman was better than Scottie Pippen, but at the end of the day, that's your perspective. So I kind of think that, letting everybody have their own perspective on life, business, sports, whatever, relationships, everybody has their own perspective. So I kind of believe that, and we kind of came to a conclusion that me and Winston are two different people, and we live our life two different ways in our own perspective. So that's how we came up with the name. And then, like we had Daniel Gibson, Boobie Gibson. We've had Daniel House, Lenny Smith, the founder, CEO of Actively Black. We learned a lot from that conversation alone, just him being an entrepreneur and having to put out fires himself. Took a lot of knowledge from that. We had Joseph Young, Mighty Joe Young. We've had TJ Ford. We've had Isaiah Hardenstein. All these guys, though, that's in the sports world, that's not so much of a huge name, but these guys are all cool, all have stories. So if you can, man, your perspectives on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, wherever you find it, we on every platform.
Subscribe and like, baby. Tap in.
Make sure you subscribing and liking. Your perspective is, like I said, it's life, business, and sports. It's life after basketball. It's life during basketball. And it's business during basketball, and it's business after. So however you want to do it, however you want to prepare, that's on you. But my perspective is you can do it now while you're playing, while you're active. Don't wait till it's the last time you touch a ball and you're like, oh, man, now I need to work on my business. No, let's do it now. And I'm an advocate for doing it now. Whatever you got aspirations in, just do it now. Don't wait, because it might be too late.
Yeah, man. And just looking at the outside of the future of the podcast, I mean, I said this off camera, and I truly believe it, man. You and Winston could really capture not only the Houston hoops culture, because there's not really like a media presence around it, but also, right, like what guys are doing, around the game, after the game. I fully anticipate seeing you guys, shooting with Fox, Winslow, Slim Thug, Paul Wall, baby.
Everybody.
Everybody.
That's so yeah, man. So like I said, right now, as you can see, I got my setup, I got my mic,
Yeah.
my webcam.
Yep, looking good. Hey, webcam's good, man. You look good on our end.
Man, appreciate it, man. So this is like the start. We're gonna do we have a season. We have live shows coming. We're working on everything. We're getting everything situated. I like your setup. I like the Riverside setup. Shout out to Riverside, man. If y'all can, sponsor my man Noah so he don't have to pay those subscription fees. Make sure y'all do that, because he's showing love and he got Riverside jumping. So make sure y'all are giving him a subscription for free, 6 months. You know what I mean? See, Noah, these are the things that you should be asking for when you send an email to Riverside. Hey, look, I've had these caliber guys on Riverside. Can you guys give me a 6-month subscription where I don't have to pay y'all and I can get all the features?
Wow.
But these are the things I think about. I think about. So
hey,
but yeah,
that's why we bring you. That's why we have you here. That's why we have you here today. Man.
Even if it don't strike anybody, I may go to LinkedIn, see somebody that's, hey, who works for Riverside? Let me send them a message and say, hey, look, I've been using you guys' platform for the last 2 years. How can I, become a partner?
That's game.
So these are the things. That's free game. But like I said, bro, we're coming with some streams, some live streams, some live interviews with overseas guys, and also ex-NBA guys that's playing overseas right now. You will see it coming. It's going to be very soon. We're getting everything together, man. I'm super excited about that, and I appreciate you, man, for having me on. Even, it's something simple as an Instagram message.
Yeah.
You never know who you may run into. You never know who you might encounter, bro. And it's always fun to hear stories. You say, hey, look, I used to work out with Chris Gaston, man. Shout out to Chris Gaston. This is one of the guys that kind of put the ball in my hands and kind of said, hey, look, you're a pro. Like, don't think of yourself as any other way. You're a pro. We all pros here. I'm only putting you in the gym with pros. So, big shout out to Gasto. And hearing the story that you was working out with him, when you said Chris' name, bro, that's all you had to say. This is like, that's easy. You said Chris Gaston, I'm like, man, I got to do it.
Yeah.
Because it's some way intertwined. We know each other somehow. We have formed a relationship somehow. So I'm like, I have to do it. Like, it's no 100%.
Question. Any live stream, any IG live stuff you want to do with Athletes and Assets, if we can bring on someone or help out, man, we want to support, man. I'm a fan of the pod, and you got a fan in me. I
appreciate it, man. I appreciate it.
Supporting it. So, no, man, I really appreciate it, man. Yeah. But, closing out, man, what would you say is the biggest lesson you've learned as an entrepreneur?
The biggest lesson.
The
biggest lesson I've learned so far, I would say that I waited, that I waited to actually do it.
You wish you would have started earlier.
I wish I would have started my first check in the NBA.
Swear to God, I say this. I wish I started my podcast earlier. Everything
Bro,
early.
I wish I would have started. So if I would have started buying duplexes, my first check in the NBA, bro, I would probably have like 20 properties, not just duplexes, houses, apartment complexes, duplexes. I probably would have property in New York. I probably would have property in Cleveland. You know what I mean? It's not too late, but the number one lesson of being an entrepreneur, man, if you have aspirations on something, don't wait too late. And then now you're like, do I want to do it? Just start. I think you just start. You just start. You just have to do it. It's going to be trials and tribulations. You're going to learn. You're going to, you're going to make some mistakes along the lines, along the road, but just start and just figure it out from there. Because I've always told myself, man, I come home, I want to do real estate. I can do it right here. I don't have to be at home. You know what I mean? I don't have to be at home. I keep saying I need to wait till I get home. For what? Then when I get home, I go party, hang out, hang with my friends that I haven't seen all summer, see my family, and now I forget about the stuff that I actually need to be doing. So, like I said, man, the number one lesson, that's not really a lesson, but I would tell myself if I could have started earlier, You know what I mean? That's not a regret, but it's like learning experiences, and it's free game for anybody. If this is what you want to do, if you have aspirations on being an entrepreneur, no matter what it is, a YouTuber, fashion designer, whatever you want to be, man, you have time to do it. You just have to find that time. And if you have that passion, it's always time for something that you love. And don't wait till it's too late. Yep.
Starting that, I agree with that, man. That is awesome. Yep. We really appreciate it, man. Hey, this has been another great episode of the Athletes and Assets podcast. I'm your host, Noah Lack, and we have my guy, Wholeteam Dot. Check out Your Perspectives podcast. Check out Wholeteam Properties LLC. If you're in the Houston area, you need a nice place to stay, and you need the keys to be delivered right to you, like, trust, Dot's going to be there on time.
Nah, bro, I don't do that no more, Noah.
Okay.
I'm not handing out keys no more, bro. I'm not too good for it, but I'm not handing out keys no more, bro. We're not doing the hand-to-hand no more.
No more hand-to-hand.
I put out the fires now, bro.
Yeah. Okay.
Nah, for sure, though. I appreciate it, though, man. I appreciate it, brother.
Don't get your keys from him, but just know if you need him, he's around. So we really appreciate it, Dot, and welcome to the community.
Man, it's all love, dog. I'll make sure I check you out. I'm going to stay in tune. You know what I mean? I love the guys that you had already. Like I said, the huge one that stood out to me is Joe Montana. Langston Galloway is my guy. Galen Robinson is my guy, my ex-point guard. You know what I mean? I say this a lot. Galen is the reason I got to the league because that guy found me whenever, in any situation, he made sure that ball was in my hands. If it wasn't Rob Gray, the ball was in my hands. So big shout out to Galen, one of my favorite point guards of all time that I've played with because he got me the ball. So,
yeah. Shout out G.
That's my guy. Shout out G. That's my guy. Yeah.
All right, we out of here.
Salute to you, man. Hey, I love it, bro. All right, man.